So we're back. I was gonna carry on with the rest of this message, doing it outside, but the Elven told me to do it in my room. Um, so we're just gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going. We're just gonna flow with it. They wanted me to continue the gates. So welcome guys. If you are in here, coming in, we're gonna take a few moments to just kind of reset the field and welcome in the Elven. It's perfect because I actually have my gnome here, my little gnome brother. And you know, it's interesting because you know, we're still carrying the Gaian reverberation through the form, which is nice. Which is something that I feel like wants to be expressed as a part of connecting with nature, is that we integrate the grids, we integrate the key codes, and then we carry them with us wherever we go. So we are going to pick back off with the elderberry reading. I saved the cards from elderberry, and we're gonna keep going. I was gonna let my phone charge, but the Elven were like, you know, they're like, just continue on with the message. Just do it in your RV, even though my RV isn't the most, uh, you know, clean right now because it's I've got to do my daily pickup. It is a little bit of a mess, but they're like, just do it, you know. And I feel like that's the other thing too about the folly of the Elven messages, is it's gifting us an opportunity to really embrace who we are. Right? We don't have to be perfect. There's perfection within it, and there's also perfection in stillness and perfection in silence. Okay, perfection in stillness, perfection in silence. So we're going to continue on with elderberry. So thank you guys for being here. We have the original key codes from so this is a Elohim frequency, by the way, the Elohim Elven frequency that we are working with. So we're going to call in our Elven, call in the Elven teams from the Elven gates. Yep, portals are opening. So this was a dolmen frequency that we were working with, and we were and I, if I remember, before we got abruptly disconnected from the last reading, that we were working with an Elohim abundant frequency of the coding of Gaia's natural organic abundance, right? So it was about going within and finding the Gaian resources and how her abundance is expressed to us. So whether this is finding a leaf or a feather or a cherry, she's igniting us through the crystalline grid working, okay, on how to detach from the frequencies of doubt and lack, right? So the frequencies of doubt and lack leaving, because there's this supportive Gaian abundance that is awakening for all of us, right? And so the supportive frequencies is what I speak of, the realms of miracle. The realms of miracle, the realms of magic, the realms of the gifting, right? Which a lot of it will be opportunities to receive from one another, right? So especially when it comes to like community, receiving food, receiving help, receiving a hug, receiving love, it's very much so less about the consumerism approach to abundance, but the interconnectivity of the organic world and how Gaia's organic abundance streams through our consciousness and is shared through one another, whether it's through hope, whether it's through love, whether it's through light language, whether it's through our own family. It can be expressed as money, but what we're looking is at the gold of the future is in the ripe organics. So I'm being shown a peach, right? I'm being shown a peach. I'm being shown leaves and the foliage and how we can begin to use that, right? So we're looking at accessing a new form of economy through Gaia's resources, right? So we're looking at a lot of golden frequency, but it's like the divine crystalline architecture of that, okay? We don't have to be concerned with our fortunes or with those things, because there is like a almost a Gaian luck frequency that wants to show up, and it's this four of clovers style of energy, rainbow bridge frequency, where we unlock the magic of the what I would speak of as Gaian inheritance, which is our ability to be able to find sustenance through breath, through wind, through trees, through nature, and through like gardens, essentially. So this is very much so kind of like an elven garden frequency that's gifting us an opportunity to begin disconnecting from the old doubt, the old fears, and the old worries. And so a lot of this is like we we are dissolving the layers of consumerism, right, from our own lives to where we can go out and enjoy and invite in the free and the folly of the elemental realms that begins transitioning us into a place of feeling supported by Gaia and by our own angelics, right? So like it's like think of it like the universe has created miracle phenomena through your life, right? And it's where no matter where you are, what you're doing, you are supported by Gaia. You're supporting by her grid work. You're being supported by the four elements, the four directions, but you're how it weaves into your own crystalline light. So it's like the treasured frequency that you are looking for is actually found within your own self, within your own purpose, and being supported by Gaia's architecture, Gaia's natural architecture. So there is this freedom in the woods, in the woodland frequencies, in the mountains, in the streams, in the rivers, that's gifting us an opportunity to be able to embody the fruits of our labor through Gaia's expression of that and how she wants to bring it forward for us. It's almost like rather than having the control in us to manipulate or to distort to receive, it's like Gaia is going to gift us exactly what we need, but the treasure is unlocked from within. The treasure is unlocked from within. So it is finding our self-worth, our self-value, and recognizing that us being here, us being the seed of creation, us being a part and one with creation is gifting us an opportunity to find what our sustenance is, right? So we're looking at sustainable foods. We're looking at sustainable communities. We're looking at things that are ripe, that are working in coordination with Gaia, and they're expanding and evolving with Gaia, because as a lot of these trajectories are coming forward, especially with humanitarian projects, okay, the humanitarian projects require that they are reverberating with the sound of Earth. The sound of Earth, the song of Earth, that expands in the fluidity of the universal tone, is going to begin to show us the fractures in our own architecture, in our own systems. And so it has to be able to expand and play and flow with Gaia. Okay, so Gaia, she is this universal song, and this universal expression is coming through the song lines and is gifting us an opportunity to create in a way, and especially with civilizations that are going to expand with her multidimensional expansion. So this multidimensional expansion of Gaia is gifting us an opportunity to expand and to create breathable containers, living light that expands with Gaia's breath, right? So if you think that there are certain things that are restricting Gaia's breath, okay, such as certain systems, 3D systems, any sort of control frequencies, manipulation, obsession, fear, especially, right? Gaia is blasting those distortions out, but it's through her song. It's through her song. So Gaia's resonant frequency is discovering the eternal and infinite potential within the heart, which is the own treasure of our own soul, and how we are finding this commonality of the toning frequency of So her song is whistling the depth of our own creation. And it's also singing through us how we can be supported by connecting with her elemental structure. So for those that have been wanting to have more of a nature call, or been wanting to to shift their focus back inward, right? Gaia's organic trajectory is what is offering that for us. And as a result, this will begin to create, it's like an opportunity to be at silence with Gaia and to let her to speak to us again, to discover what our value is here. She has a key code, a puzzle piece that's unlocked through this for us. So let's go into Odin. What wants to come through from Odin in the 9 realms with the elderberry frequency? Okay, we're looking at Khan here. Khan. we're looking at leading the way. This rune is coming through wanting us to lead the way back into the forest. So I see this torch as the flame or the ignition point that is blazing the trail that's going into those realms and is allowing the light to guide us into those places. It's almost got this forest keeper shaman, you know, the journey into the dark forest to sit within the darkness and to allow Gaia's primality to be expressed to us so we can dissolve our fears. It's got a little bit of a shamanic journey. The light that lights up the cave, right? But it's within that darkest place that we can meet our own fears. We can meet our own shadow. We can meet our own illusion and we can light it up. Once again, we have that angle frequency again, right? So we're looking at, you know, the two versions of Khan, one being one way in the reversal that brings Jira together. And I believe Jira came through with Raspberry. So we are seeing a key code to the union with the song lines and this key code found within the natural realms, but found within our own caves. It's witnessing that our shadow is a part of the illusion. So if the union is of shadow of light, which comes into the yin yang frequency, which gives us that arc angle, which gives us the perspective on the diamond, Khan itself is gifting us the opportunity to bring light to the shadow, which is a piece of our own union. So it's not only masculine feminine that comes into union, and it's not only Gaia and human coming into union, or divine and human, or divine and Gaia, but we're seeing shadow and light coming together, which creates the yin yang, which is the balance of the masculine and feminine, the being and the doing, or the everything and the nothing, which goes back into the Sophianic quality, right? So we are looking at a universal expression through the torch, which is us blazing the pathway for this. Gaia has been singing this song for a little while about all of us coming back into nature, right? And because what happens is, I've been noticing that there have been people that are losing more and more material things and are being called to simplicity. And as those things are getting threaded apart, it's pushing people into the natural realms because Gaia has a key code. But if we're not hearing the clarion call into the unknown to go match the reverberation of Gaia, Gaia and our higher self, our universe, begins to create whatever that energetic space is for us to go in and to open up and to allow Gaia's architecture to speak with us, right? And so it is one of those that is gifting us the opportunity to remember that in some cases less is more, right? And especially if there's like a hunter-gatherers kind of a program going on where you're holding on to materials or you're holding on to things, those things can slowly start to wash away, because as they wash away, it gives us opportunity to find grateful for that, to be grateful for that which we have from within. But also it's Gaia wants us to support the flow, right? So it takes away, it eliminates the fear constructs of lack and gives us an opportunity to remember our self-worth and self-value. Miracle consciousness, right? Not every miracle leads with a happy ending in a parade. Some of these frequencies that come through in regards to our own miracle is witnessing the simplicity of the miracle, right? So what is the miracle expressed for you? What is your treasure? What is held within? There is a process of detachment from our own lack, from our own issues with self-worth and self-value, right? So we can begin opening up to this, right? And the trail that's being blazed right now is the way into our own pathway, into our own unity and into our own freedom through lighting up our own cave, right? Our own cave itself is what we would see as the end of the hero's journey, right? So the hero goes on his adventure, right? If we look at the hero archetype, he goes on his adventure, he goes into the cave of the unknown, and what happens in the cave of the unknown in the hero archetype? It's the battling of the monster. But do we need to battle the monster? Or do we need to befriend the monster? Okay? Do we need to befriend the monster? Because a part of us being able to speak our truth of these archetypes and of these stories, right, is that the hero doesn't have to go and fight its own demons anymore. It actually can embrace them and love them, right? Because it is an aspect of self. So we are looking at a place of embracing creation again, which dissolves the judgment. It dissolves the war. It dissolves the resistance. We come into peace because what we're doing is we're making peace with our own shadow. We're bringing a piece together right now of our own union, right? if we want the wholeness and the wellness, the union has to come from us aligning all puzzle pieces of ourselves, right? All puzzle pieces of ourselves, which means that we don't deny, neglect, or fight or resist a version of ourselves. We embrace it. We hold it with a loving, generous heart. Heart. So it's witnessing our own creation and finding that we don't have to struggle anymore when we begin to find what the miracle is in the simplicity of ourselves. Let's look at how many, when it comes to the creation of you as a human, what are the odds in the billions that your seed met the egg that created you, right? So what we're doing is we're finding opportunities. We're finding opportunities to find our value and the abundant nature of ourselves through our own crystalline light, right? But also how Gaia's crystalline network is supporting us as we are walking the song lines. So there is that walking the song lines, being the song lines, breathing the song lines, breathing these things into the architecture and working with them where we will be supported, right? But you see how there's still lines that need to be woven here? There is a threading process that all of us can take part in, but it requires us having to detach from fear of expressing those song lines. So if this is an actual pilgrimage that people go on or whatever, you know, whatever the key code is, because when it comes to activation, sometimes it requires an act or an action to begin to solidify that within ourselves. So this might be about going and taking hikes in the forest, right? Weaving your song line into the crystalline architecture. It could be an actual pilgrimage, which some people set on to find their mastery, to find their remembrance. This is a walk that you are ignited to play with in your own unique way. Whether it's physically expressed through an actual song, a dance, or a walk, or it's something that you just go find in stillness with self. Stillness with breath is going to help you to untangle. So when you are feeling that doubt, that lack, that worry, that need to control, that need to manipulate, or you are in that fear, go sit with Gaia and let her unplug you from that. Let her hold you and support you. She wants to show you your self-worth and your self-value. Okay? So we're going to go into a little bit of a toning frequency with this Elven key with elderberry. Ooh. So just go ahead and sit and breathe in that frequency. And I'm actually seeing some Elven keys being drawn right now. So if you see those images in your third eye, if you get any images, I invite you to draw them down and to play with them. These key codes are for everyone to access, and however they want to flow through you is perfect. So if you are, if you desire it all to play with these key codes, I invite you to do so, and to express them in your own way, because each one holds a different translation through the form. Because we're all here translating through our own individuation of these source codes and from these Elven keys in our own beautiful way. Don't worry, guys. We're safe. We're loved. We're protected here. Because I'm hearing things in the field. I want to just give you an opportunity to find love again here, to find peace, to find tranquility, and to find neutrality. Right? So we're just going to transmute any of the distortions out now. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So elderberry, thank you to the elderberry key for being here. All right. So now we are going to step into blueberry. So this will be 5155/00, so I can update it on on that. There we go. Cool. All right, how's everyone doing? How are we all feeling? Peaches and apples. Pancake with strawberry topping, yes. No, no, hun. Strawberry's last. Willow, strawberry's last. I know she's excited for strawberry. She wants blueberry. Yeah, the blueberry key is next. The blueberry key. Blueberry key. Ooh, let's stretch. Let's stretch. All right, so blueberry. So blueberry, we're going to do 2033. Let's go. Inner Earth. Elven. All right. Blueberry key. What wants to come through for the blueberry key? Hi. Blueberry key. So we're just going to shuffle a few times. Woo! I'm hearing carrots, too. Carrots. Those aren't berries, guys. I know we need carrots. I'm good today. I'm good. Today is a little bit of a pressure point. A little bit of a squeeze. That's why I think it's perfect opportunity to dive into the dark elven frequency, because they're helping me to shift out a lot of fear and to really come into there's like an archetypal implosion that's returning us to the ignition point of eternal remembrance. So it's like there is a deconstructive quality to this, but not in a way that is abusive or volatile, but it's in a way that is supportive of us finding our love again for different archetypal functionings. So here's the thing, is that when it comes to the union keys and the unity keys and the freedom codes, right, is that it's freedom from judgment. It's freedom from where we're judging our own creations. As I dive into my own story, I witness in my own life, there's archetypes that have existed between the masculine and the feminine creations that have served a purpose and a role. And as I am coming back into, like, so I was talking about this the other day in a room, and I'll share this with all of you, is that as I started my awakening journey, it's like my awakening journey signaled off a key to remembrance, and now it's a key of actually regressing through my pathway back to my origin. So it's like, even though the evolutionary state, if we were to see this, it is quantum. So if we look at this linear, that awakening produces an evolution of self in the future goals. There is this transcendence approach where it's the awakening actually triggered off the unraveling of this lifetime and other lifetimes that were created in this lifetime. And so a lot of this has been witnessing the own repair of our own grids from grid work that started yesterday, the ripples that come through, but also like wherever we've neglected shadow versions of ourselves, it's very much so been coming up as a pressure point to invite it in for love, and to not battle it or to fight it anymore, but to embrace what that quality is for ourselves. And so I'm currently working through several different archetypes and how they play in my reality, in my storyline, and in my relationships, so we can dissolve it and bring it back to love. But there's a place of cherishing and honoring it, especially those ones that we might not like, because we don't want to control, right? We don't want to control. We don't want to manipulate. We don't want to throw out the baby with the bathwater, because the illusion is the fear, right? But it has served an archetypal role that's created stories for some millennia, and for some for only a short amount of time, especially when it comes to the industrial age. So a lot of the archetypes that I'm witnessing are things that have directly affected, like, our own political system. It's directly affected industry. It's affected finances. It's affected our safety. It's affected our ability to thrive. It's a lot of survival mechanics that were found in the third dimensional systems. But if I am to keep disposing of this third dimensional being, of this archetype, and not gifting it the opportunity to have its crystalline expression, then I'm denying a piece of integration, and I'm blocking myself the opportunity to integrate, especially when it comes to mortal wounding and when it comes to the family lines, right? So a lot of this is witnessing how this plays into the family story, where we carried the archetype through the bloodline, and then how it also transforms into a soul treasure and a soul gift from it. Because once again, as we're weaving this crystalline architecture through ourselves and through humanity, there are archetypes that people were throwing away for a really long time that now we cannot deny them as creation, right? And so it's like, yes, including different agendas, different things, and it's like really dissolving the persecution involving that archetype and allowing it to express and free flow through us. Man, we're just a lot of people are talking right now. And so this archetypal role, for myself, it's gifting me an opportunity to find the treasure within it, right? What is the key code? What is the gate? Why are you here? How can I softly love it so I don't have to be in fear of that archetype anymore? Especially when it comes to the freedom codes and freedom of the child. Since there's been so much divine child work and inner child play, I've been moving through these passageways that are showing me the limitations or the boundaries or the gate sequences that were quote unquote blocking me from embodying my inner child fully. So we're looking at inner child suppression and where we can move through the anger, where we can move through the fear so the child can come up more and more and more. So we're looking at, the realms of tragedy, the realms of trauma, the realms of drama, and the realms of denial of who we are, right? Denial of who we are. So it's been quite an interesting day, pressured, a little bit raw, a little bit vulnerable, but also recognizing that I can flow with spirit with this. I can flow with the elemental structures and that they are giving me the opportunity, especially the Dark Elven, right? Because they're the ones that have been really bringing up my biggest childhood wounds to me. Not because they want harm for me, they want me to be in freedom, but the expression and the way that they show up to express that freedom is one that was feeling a little bit discordant for a while. So now that I'm inviting in the discord and I'm seeing it, I'm allowing myself to play with it. It's giving me an opportunity to basically like laugh at my own shadows, right? It's like being able to turn on a scary movie and laugh at the whole thing and witness it as an illusion, because it's not pretending it doesn't exist, but it's inviting in a polarity of happiness or of freedom or of triumph or victory over those storylines that created narratives in our own realities, that created limitations, blocks, or it created rescue themes. It kept the opportunities of playing with savior, playing with martyrdom, playing with sacrifice. Those are the things that are dissolved. So this is a storyline that encapsulates almost a fifth dimensional loop within the Christed frequencies, so it can evolve beyond the looping system of the dogmatic structures and of the distortion of Christ to come back into the elevated state of what it means to have those things without the hierarchical need for it, right? So a lot of the positioning of this polarity can create hierarchy. So it's a oneness approach to us to begin to settle into a new room of imagination for ourselves. Once again, dissolving the fear, dissolving the limitations, so we can begin walking new here. We're looking at a renewal frequency that's coming through with the day and what the energies are providing with the freedom of the divine child. So anyways, a lot of expression. Okay, Blueberry. We're going to rewrite Blueberry because, well, no, Blueberry, you get all of that because I feel like it ties into Blueberry. So Blueberry, Elven Key, 4 cards. What's coming through for Blueberry? Ooh, we're looking at strength. We're looking at power. I love it. Oh, power of the child with the Daughter of Cups. Ooh, yes, okay. Ooh, Daughter of Wands. There is a lot of that feminine child frequency, and there we go. There's the 7 of Wands again. So we're looking at the illumination, the spark. We're looking at the spark that is highlighting within our own reality those spheres or those illusions, because it's, once again, we're looking at a way of paving a way. We have a trailblazer kind of pioneer tone here. So with strength, Daughter of Cups, Daughter of Wands, what we're doing is we're finding the embodiment of the power or of the masculine frequency in the archetypes of what was just discussing, which ties into the Blueberry frequency. So we're looking at the masculine archetype and in regards to power, our own solar power, our own solar love, and the frequency of loving our own beasts, finding the infinite expansion within the primal, right? But within that core courage, that it's the embracing the core of our courage. But with the Daughter of Cups, we're looking at being able to witness these things in the mirror as rainbow, right? So this is kind of a little bit of that dark rainbow frequency, which is that when you see in the mirror, what do you see, right? It is a place of divine innocence when it comes to the divine child and feeling comfortable in the realms of the child frequency. Recognizing that if the child is a part of this co-creative endeavor, that the child created these opportunities to witness these archetypes, especially in the distortion, of the father, distortion of the masculine, hierarchical structures, political stuff, refugees, abandonment, running frequencies. What it is we're now finding the magic within those realms because it does have a gift for us, right? It's opening up a new pathway for ourselves. I almost want to see this, that it's almost got this a little bit of a neural rewrite frequency, gifting new thought for opportunity to open new neural passageway, which gives us an opportunity to see new. We're illuminating a new path because it is free from the constructs of the fear. It's free from the limitations. But it's the void that we play with through this. And with this white rose frequency coming through, we're looking at finding peace in the archetypes of power and how they come into our own lives. There's something about a new flow that wants to open up at the Daughter of Cups, reflecting into a new flow, reflecting into a new pond. It's almost got this energy of stabilizing at the new frequency which we hold, which is that new room. It's that new room that we're navigating into. You know, with the snake, we're looking at that cosmic serpentine frequency again. And the serpentine frequency is something that's holding our magic. It's the infinite expression of ourselves. So the serpent lines are expressing, but I'm getting cosmic serpent. It's almost like the cosmic serpent is coming down to express themselves to us so we can find empowerment. But it does tie into that lake and that pond frequency, which would now speak of the water serpent. Back to, there's that sea serpent, the water serpent again. And I want to get some clarity actually from this, because here's the Lover's card. There's the flight. There's the new path. The flight of the unborn. But let's go into the sea serpent, the water serpent. I'm going to pull more cards. Yeah, water serpent. Water serpent gifting us an opportunity to once again transcend the illumination of our mortal wounding, coming back into the death. It's transformation. It's allowing the shedding of the layers. So this cosmic serpent frequency is coming through and it is producing some sort of transformation. The old skin goes, and what are we exposing from within? We're exposing our skeletal frequency, which is our foundations. An opportunity to light up what our foundations truly are too. So as we are creating these new pathways, we're also coming back to the original creation, the original foundation of who we are, which is the skeletal structure. The skeletal system, think about how everything is held in place with the skeletal system, right? The skeletal system holds, basically, it's the foundation of our body, right? Which is where, you know, our muscles, our tissues, our organs, the water, the blood, all of it circulates through this. So it is a return to foundations. So this dissolution is back to the prima materia, back to the organic foundations of who we are, to light a pathway of how we build on these foundations. So even though it is a new architecture that's coming through, we're coming into the original architecture of ourselves, right? So Pluto, the scorpionic frequency, the death, the transformation, is gifting us back to what the original foundations of us as creator are, so we can begin to weave that magic in the place of divine innocence, right? So there's been a lot in regards to magic regarding this. I mean, especially if you go into the lines of like the mystery schools of Alexandria, ancient Egypt, right? Is that there's been a lot of frequencies and a lot of stories and a lot of things that have been emitted through the sound field that bring in awareness, okay, that bring in awareness for us in regards to what we would speak of the darker tonality in regards to our own magic. So we are seeing in that these archetypes that we're weaving through are actually gifting us codes of ancient magic. So it's almost like the most violent of situations that we see through humanity, that we are witnessing through the architecture and in regards to power, are actually bringing in ancient secrets for us, because it's bringing us back to our primal wounding, right? So the primal mortal wounding, right, when we expand beyond that, is actually gifting us ancient secrets of our ancient magic that belong in the future pathways. And as a result, it's gifting us a new narrative. Right? It's giving us a new narrative, a new opportunity. We're pioneering a new path, pioneering, blazing a new trail. So it's about that. Some of these old stories, when we extrapolate the code from the thread of what it is or what the wisdom is in the lesson, it's exposing some part of our original creation, which is, it's actually, this is kind of bloodline. If we look at bones holding the marrow, which is a part of the regenerative frequency. So we're looking at regeneration, but we're also looking at the epigenetic line. We're looking at us being able to expose within the two-strand DNA, our epigenetic blueprint, the storylines that have created the sphere. Once we clear it out and retrieve the ancient codex from it, we now have what the two-strand DNA is and how that weaves into our own crystalline DNA, right? So it's an exposure of cells, of cellular body, of membrane, right? Of the cellular body of the two-strand family line, and we're extrapolating what the magic is from that because it belongs in the future, right? So yes, the nutrient density. We're looking at the retrieval of the purified code from that. So we are looking at ancestral wounds, but we're looking at ancestral wounds in regards to power, right? Leo is also speaking of Regulus and the sun, right? So strength takes me to Leo, which is taking me to Regulus. Regulus is a royal star. So this could tie into royal bloodlines for some people in this narrative of why it has appeared as such in the archetypal functioning in regards to the father, the masculine, and power. So we're looking at dynamic power archetypes that tie into ancient bloodlines, that tie into royalty, that also bring in a place of divine innocence of what that magic is for us, because it's an illumination forward that is tying into the original creation of our soul. So it's not only a return to the original creator essence, but it's a return to who we were here to be at the foundational level. We don't want the details to be filled in by old stories and old workings and old magic. We want to allow the arrival of that to come through within the new. But it's a part of facing our mortality in the mortal wounding that begins to create what many might see as, is it necromancy work, right? The awakening of the dead within us. We're seeing a rise of the dead. The rise of the dead is gifting us the opportunity to bring our ancient magic back through so we can find our power in a purified, loving, and soft stance. The reflection being that of rainbow. Okay? The reflection of that being rainbow. So in regards to these violent tendencies, in regards to things like suicide and trauma, right? Those are realms that are best to go into with someone who's a way shower that can hold space. And I'll always recommend that to anyone. And so a part of this divine alchemy is how can we shift our perspective on our mortality, on our primality, and on what's happened in the levels of more of like the power and this power struggle that always led to violent tendencies. Power struggle will lead to violence and war, especially in regards to colonization, in regards to a lot of the things that have been produced, especially here in the United States that we've witnessed. And it's like as those war songs drop off and we extrapolate the wisdom, we're embodying some sort of ancient magic that's gifting us a new way to see ourselves in this rainbow light. It's also important for the freedom of the child, because the child is the one that needs that poetic justice. It's the child that needs that string of code. Okay, so we are looking at that. Odin in the 9 realms. What message wants to come forward from Odin in the 9 realms? We're looking at ear. So we are looking at healing here. But it's, once again, it's our ancient lines coming forward and healing us. So actually us witnessing this archetype, rather than disposing of it, but embodying it, it's our ancestors coming forward to help us to heal. Because there's medicine that's coming through for us. Medicine is magic. There's magic in medicine. There's medicine in magic. Okay. So it is that these ancestral lines are coming through to gift us not only ancestral healing, but it's gifting us the wisdom to find what our medicine is again. I like that, Holly. Blue blood mentality versus blue lotus origins. I like that. So this is an ancestral healing that's coming through. It is an ancestral healing, and it is a gift from the ancestors. It's also, it's guided and protected. You see how we have the moon, we have the mobile here, but we've got Hugin and Moonin, right? We've got the protectors here. This space is very much so protected. And not protected like it needs to be protected, but it's almost like it's watched over by the divine. Like the ancestors in the animal kingdoms are coming together to gift us the opportunity to begin playing with these frequencies and the energies again, to safely go into the cocoon, to go into that space of feeling, and to not feel like we're going to be tormented or abused when we're in that space. So the feeling space of it itself is inviting in the polarity to neutralize, but we're doing it in a safe way. We're doing it from the comfort of working with our own ancestors. And the ancestors want to come through to help us to heal this. Okay? So it is an ancestral wound, but it is gifting us our own magic and our own medicine again. Okay? So... O kande danu nachereti sur mate tu kande na te nucha mane u nane u there is going to be some sort of a detoxification, because we're looking at an elimination of toxic frequencies. And so whatever your body holds in regards to toxicity, we're going to look at things like bile, right, and stomach acids, and clearing out the stomach. I want to remind you that these codes are going to shift out a lot of toxicity, and so you might feel some belly blowing up, belly expansion, but also having to run through a lot, because we are going through a purification cycle of the toxic belief systems, and that will hold, like, the way it is transferred out of our cellular body is through things like mucus, through bile, and through fluids. So allow your body to release, whether it's tears, snot, or it's through the belly and the gut flora. Liver detox, kidney detox, just let it flow. Just let it flow. It's a part of the repair process, okay? It's a part of the repair, so just let it flow. Whew. And make sure you support yourself, guys, because I'm even feeling my back kick up, which has been a big support thing, is if you need to lay down and rest or sit down and allow yourself to be comforted, especially with ear here. You see how the child is laying down flat here. These elder keys, let the elders or the ancient ones come through, the Elven, however this frequency shows up for you. Allow yourself to be nurtured and supported, but to support your body through this, because as you're getting this key, you're becoming all of these roles. You're not only becoming guardian of this sacred prayer, guardian of this medicine, but you're also becoming that ancient or that elder that's gifting the medicine. You're also getting back the child. You're going through the healing. You see how you're all of it? New routines. Rest and be supported. Rest, be supported. Rest and be supported. There we go. Ooh. Yay! Wow. That one's big. That was a big one to push through, and I can feel the waves kicking up now as we're shifting that one out. Woo! Getting lightheaded in here. Getting lightheaded. So thank you, thank you, thank you. So now we're on strawberry. Strawberry fields forever. Strawberry fields forever. And guys, I want to thank you for your likes, shares, and subscribes. If you'd like to donate to the channel, links will be in the description box after this. It would be greatly appreciated and supported. Greatly appreciated and supported. Helps to pay for rent, pay for clothes, pay for food, right? But we're also, once again, we're stepping into that organic flow of support, right? So just to trust that we'll be supported no matter what, right? And including myself. Calling myself out on that one right now. We're going to be supported no matter what. And guys, take time to pause and to do a stillness, right, as you're going through these key codes. You could go through and watch all of them. We're going to be unlocking and unraveling more of the Elven gate sequences as they come about, right? So just note that take your time with these. Drink lots of water, relax, right? Have fun, play, sing, dance with them, right? But also gift yourself the opportunity to feel These will offer feelings. They're going to offer clearings. They're going to offer healing. But it's coming from a place of support and love, guys. And I invite you to recognize that as you're experiencing the connection with the consciousness of the Elven realms, is that they mean well. There is no harm here, right? They're just going to help us to clear at deeper levels. And they know how to get underneath our skin. That's how these Elven work. They know how to get beneath our skin. Why? Because they know us. They know how to get beneath our skin because they've always been with us, right? They've always been around us, supporting us. They know us. They know us because they've been in the invisible and they're not hiding anymore. They're coming up to talk to us, right? And they're giving us all the beautiful nuggets of wisdom that we need as long as we invite in the play of the Elven realms again. So it's allowing them to play with us, right? That return to simplicity. I want to say first to you matter, you matter, you matter, you matter. Put your own well-being first. Put your own well-being first. Okay. All right, so strawberry. What wants to come through for strawberry? We're looking at 4511 for strawberry. 4511. So we're on part 2. Thank you, everyone, for being here. All right, so we're going to unlock this key code. Elvins, what's coming through for the strawberry key for humanity? What is the strawberry key? And you know, here's the thing. I heard this in the field once we signed off last time, and I want to state this. Yes, a lot of the clearings that are coming through are very third and fourth dimensional in existence, right? So if you don't need to go down there, you don't need to go down there. But I was hearing it in the field, and I was like, oh, I have to allow this archetype in that still judges us going into these inner planes and going into our own inner well-being. Whatever helps you to express your own song and your own creation, but what also gives you the opportunity to loosen up and to relax and to allow all of the fear to fall away is perfect for you, right? And so the thing is we're bringing up fear things. We're bringing up a little bit of chaos, right? We're bringing up a place to find peace and neutrality. That's the reason it exists. It's a part of creation, right? So if it brings up things within you, okay, invite it in for love, right? Because there was things that were coming through with humanity and 5D New Earth, and how is this? Some people don't need to dive into these realms anymore. Some people do, right? But this earthen frequency, this elven frequency, this Gaian Tarn focused frequency in the codes are helping us. It's assisting us. And there's people that are still working through their third and fourth dimensional constructs, right? And so it is a gift. It's not something to be condemned or punished or blamed or used against another individual. It's not something that we cast out. It's not something that we beat up. It's something we invite in and we go, I recognize and I love you. I honor you. Right? And it's not for everyone. And that's what's perfect about it too. It's not for everyone, but it is magic. And it is gifting us a lot of opportunity to find our magic again. To find our magic. To find our play. All right, strawberry. What wants to come through for strawberry? What's coming through for strawberry? Elven key, strawberry, key code. What wants to come through for the pick-a-berry, strawberry? Looking at vantage point. We're looking at that cosmic frequency actually taking us to the sky. So we are looking at the liftoff. Yeah. We are looking at a third eye frequency. There's so many similar tones and themes here. Son of Wands, Four of Swords, Three of Cups, Son of Pentacles. It's gifting us a new plateau, new sight, new insight, but it's also holding the innocence or the fertility of the child, right? It's allowing us to witness our own sacrifice, but it's also I love how it's being able to not only see from a new height, but it's from a new sight, the first sight, right? It's the isness, the sight of the isness, which is actually very much so. If we see how the colors all translate here, coming up here, all this red and orange illuminating at the third eye with the lamb, is we're seeing the projection of unity through the third eye. So it's a first eye purification that's gifting us an opportunity to find unity within the dark spaces, right, that are held within the cosmic skies. So it is a cosmic serpentine frequency that's working with the Elvens to unlock the third eye frequency, or what we call the first eye for some people. I heard it called the first eye the other day and I loved it. I was like, I'm going to coin that too and use that. So thank you to Bridget for bringing up the first eye, because it is a first eye frequency. It is a new sight of how we are connected and at one with all of these frequencies, including the lunar frequency. Because once again, it is a little bit of what we would speak of magic in the realms of shadow, or in the lunar frequency, but we are seeing an eclipse here. We're seeing an eclipse. I almost want to take this in as a little bit of Mars frequency. There is this planetary cosmic serpent that's coming through these key codes with the Elven, that's gifting us an opportunity to cleanse our third eye. Because we're, once again, with 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck here, we're looking at a wish fulfillment by being able to witness unity consciousness and the freedom through our own lens. Through our own lens. Yeah, it's illuminating our own war again. It's illuminating our truths. So with the illumination of our truths, it's lighting up on the darker truths within ourselves that keep us separated. Can we see the dark is unified? You see how we have all the shadow cups, we see the shadow birds, right? All these shadow realms. But with these orange and yellow tones, it's almost like the sun inviting in this darkness back into what it is. So yes, it's like we are seeing our own shadow. We're seeing it's a translucent frequency that's witnessing our own shadow again, right? But with Four of Swords, we're seeing how the shadow has been putting pressure on us, right? It's seeing how we pressure ourselves with our own shadow. And now the gift is being able to break open to see how the shadow is unified with self, with the elemental frequencies, and how it is the light. Third eye purification, being able to see beyond the veil into the unknown, but being able to see, hear, feel, witness how our own perception of shadow has been neglected and how it actually brings in the qualities of light. So if we're looking at rainbow band's frequency, right, which is the dynamic representation, which is all of these hues and bandwidths coexisting into the one, which can go into the ultraviolet, right? Because like ultraviolet is white, all white frequency that is layered with hues of the rainbow band, but the rainbow band isn't in the visible light spectrum, isn't seen. That is why we find that through the purity of the lens to be able to see beyond the veil. So we are seeing it's almost like a high priestess veil shattering frequency that's bringing up our first eye. And where we are still in meditation, we can see this is where the pressure of the shadow is affecting the innocence of our own belonging to our own expansive, expressive self. Because we are looking at the divine child. But we're also beginning to see with this how the shadow is protecting the child. How the shadow is acknowledging the child. And how the child is being supported through this, which I love. I really love that. It's almost like our divine innocence is protected in the realms of shadow. Now, do we need protection? No. So let's say it's more supported. I like saying supported rather than protection, because protection still is stating that there is something out to get us. It still can play in victim. It can still play in martyrdom. So it's almost like how the frequencies are supporting us, or almost holding the child, gifting the opportunity for the child to illuminate, not eliminate. So eliminate limitations, yes, but to illuminate, you know, to be able to see again, because the child is a part of this picture, and the child deserves to have these things. With the Son of Pentacles here, I'm being guided to the fawn frequency, which, you know, I think of fight, flight, and fawn. Back to those safety mechanisms, and especially with all the reds here, we're looking at root sacral core issues here, core value systems, and how we're seeing them from a higher narrative, right? So we're looking at, once again, we were talking about the third and fourth dimensional systems, which can all be held in like a lot of the lower three chakras: solar, sacral, root, and an expansion of that. What is the higher narrative of our core values, right? But it's interesting how we have to kind of like look down deep into our core to find what that illumination is. But we do have, once again, that cosmic serpentine frequency that's coming through to help to unlock more of the pineal third eye, that decalcification process, so we can see into it. So even myself, I need my peppermint oil, getting all stuffy. This will happen when we go through third eye purification, is you might find a sinus drain start to occur, or you get really stuffy nose. something I notice a lot. Burning eyes is another one too. So if your eyes start to burn through the frequencies of these codes, or you start to get stuffed up, it's a part of like releasing a lot of tension here, because as we go through the decalcification process, those calcified deposits will begin to transfer out of our own life, however it is. So I remember we had a brother that was talking about a calcium bump he gets behind his ear. People will see this in different ways. It's a part of the expansion of the pineal gland, and the draining of the calcification. So you might get plugged up nostrils. That's a key one. I use peppermint when this happens. Headaches too, as we're neural rewriting. Oh, so breath work is key through this. All right, so let's go into Odin in the 9 realms and see what wants to come through with strawberry. Freya, I love it. Freya. Oh, I love it, Freya. There's a really, oh man, with Freya. I love Freya. Freya is one of my favorites. We're back to that mother essence here. We're back to the mother coming through and holding us in this embrace. But with the phoenix, it's being able to rise up from the ashes. So this is like a phoenix and a dragon symbol, which would make sense with the cosmic serpentine frequency, but it is this energy of dropping our shields. There we go. It is that guiding frequency, that mother holding you, especially with the swords of the shadow. But Freya coming through with really bringing through the soft feminine energies, right? And how this ties into us being able to be illuminated as the child. I feel guided to look at the book. I wasn't going to do the book, but I trust right now my intuition with Freya in this book of Odin in the 9 realms. There's Odin. Freya, love. There we go. Freya is the only female named for the Vanir, a group of demigods that represent fertility. So yeah, we are looking at love here. We're looking at the energy of loving our perspectives. It's like finding a higher perspective through love. But also that being able to see beyond the veil. Can we love our own interdimensionality? Can we love our own portal? Can we love our own womb, especially with all this orange and yellow? Can we love our power structures? Can we love our core? Can we love those lower dimensional systems that are existing here? And not from a place of separation where we go low vibe, high vibe. That's not what we're getting into. What we're looking at is the old programming and old conditioning within these structures and loving them so we can begin to see them in the unified presence, right? So it's old systems coming back to light, old systems coming in. It's weaving them into our cosmic orchestration and inviting them into love, inviting them into divine innocence, inviting them into our magic. So rather than separating off or pushing off these frequencies, we're inviting them in with love. Being able to love all of versions of ourselves again. So there is a tonality of just like bringing in the shadow to love the translucent and luminescent quality of it, and knowing that for us it does have an eye seer effect. It has a first eye approach to get us the point of how our perspective also affects our vision. So that which we hear, see, feel beyond the veil is actually affected by our perspective. So our perspective of magic, our perspective of the situation, all of these perspectives actually have an effect on how much we are able to see. So we can almost see the perspective of limitation creates a boundary on the veil. And so once we dissolve the limitations of the boundaries, the veil drops and we're able to see more. But we have to see through the eyes of love with Freya here. So it's not only it's not only the physical human eyes, the human eyes, the hue, the rays, the bandwidths through the eyes, but it's also the first eye perception of love, which means that we have to tune to that vibration of love and divine innocence within the child to find what this unity approach is. Right? So it's a celebration of the new dawn, celebration of the air epoch, a celebration of the light again. But it's through unraveling the perspective so we can shift up in perspective. So we are seeing this rising up frequency, especially with the phoenix here. This is the phoenix rising up from the ashes. We rise up in the purity so the purity can begin to open up so we can begin to see beyond the veil within purity through the eyes of love. but it's harnessed in the feminine. It's harnessed in the goddess. It's harnessed within the womb portal. So I'm curious how this affects how the womb portal is expressed through this. I'm actually going to go into our little baby Rider-Waite deck, which I have not brought through. Thank you, Angel, for being the bouncer here. Thank you, Angel. Everyone say hi to AF, to Angelfish. She's the moderator. She kicks ass and takes names. And she's a very, very dear, sweet friend. Say thank you, Angel, for being a moderator. We love you. Yay! Hey, Angel, Angel. All right. All right, so now we're going into... I think the wonky doos. All right, so we're going to go into original Rider-Waite. What else wants to come through? Because there was some sacred womb work that was coming through with all the oranges and Freya. There is this mother's womb portal that's kind of coming through with this first eye technology. So what is this lens that comes through this? Oh, it's our magic. It's embracing our magic through our sacral, through our womb. It's finding the magic within our womb. As it seeds up, that's the serpent that comes up into the eye to create the illumination point. So there is this cosmic serpent frequency. It's our magic being born from within, the joy of our magic. But it's that seed of creation of magic that is available within us. It's the infinite expression in the seed of the soul. Returning to the eternal you. Returning to the eternal you. Yeah, and it's about the harvests of our own creation. The seeds that we plant, reviewing the seeds of our own creation. So the seeds of our creation have an effect with that which we view. It's about perspective again. The seeds of our creation transmit a frequency that offers us an opportunity to see our own creation. So we're being gifted the opportunity to go within the seed of the soul, to look at the seeds that we've planted and beginning to bring them back into the eternal essence, bringing those things back to love. So we're taking old seeds and we're bringing them forward to illuminate and to create a new transmission. A new transmission. Yeah, Knight of Swords. This is about being able to cut out those old seeds. But we are looking at the clarity of our thought. So I am going to take this a little bit esoteric in just how it is expressed, especially with Knight of Swords. We're looking at quick thought. There is an energy of slowing down here. That we don't have to act on the old seeds, but we can replenish and nourish what these seeds are and allow them to fill in however they're supposed to. The journey of accepting and elevating and bringing everything back into love, it requires patience. So we are looking at this isn't something to happen very quick for us. It's something that we soften. But we have to look at the energies of where we're still attacking old creation or old seeds. Right? Like, do we need to attack an old story or do we just allow it to be? Yeah. Put down the swords and walk away. Put it down and walk away. This is coming to a place of peace. Coming to peace with our own creations because they are a part of the unique soul essence that is us. Right? So as we're bringing everything back to source, can we love and honor every seed? Even those ones that we don't really like. It's almost like we, especially if we're looking at access to unlimited resources here, which is the cosmic orchestration of the magician card, right? We have access to everything's on the table for us to use, is that these seeds are on the table for us. These old seeds can be reused and repurposed for what the renewal energy is. But the thing is that we act from a place of peace. We act from a place of love. We don't fight those creations, but they are seeds that we have accessible to us, that we have the ability to use within our own creation. That's going to assist us to elevating our perspective and to be able to see through the first eye or through the spiritual window in a new way. Yeah. But we have to allow the transformation to occur. With the death frequency, we have to walk through these realms. We have to walk through those worlds to retrieve it. But we can also allow them to transform. Death of the old, awaken of the new. So once again, we're looking at mortal wounding here. We're looking at mortal wounding, but we're looking at Pluto. So it's like Pluto is almost coming in and helping us to revisit what these worries are so they can transform. And speaking of the Phoenix energy, that ties into the Scorpionic energy. right? The evolved Scorpio being the phoenix. And with that, since there was so much water energy, I wonder if we don't have a lot of water here. We are looking at actually a lot of fire energy, so I'm not going to bring in that, but it's almost like the phoenix fire coming through for us to begin to awaken what our first eye is, and recognizing that these old seeds can come forward as a resource for our new creations if we need it. So we're looking at a seed energetic line. That's going to awaken a new perspective, because it is a part of our magic. Give yourself the opportunity to love these creations again, because the Page of Pentacles, it's holding the seed for us. And can we see that this seed is a part of our multidimensionality? That this seed actually is a placeholder within this cloak. So if you see this as your star cloak of the Divine Mother, right, of your multidimensional expression, this seed does belong in the cup. In the integrated, expansive you, this seed of creation from this harvest that you are picking is a part of your multidimensional creation. So whether it's a storyline, or whether it's a perspective, or it's a belief system, it is a part of your magic, and it belongs in your cup of opportunity. It belongs in your well of wishes. It belongs in your multidimensional expression. This seed carries a code that is a part of your soul light. It's a part of your light body. It's a part of your expression. So it's also witnessing that, multidimensionally speaking, that these stories that you've pushed off are actually a part of you in the multidimensional expression. So can you love that eternally? Because it is a part of you. Love you, Angel. See you sooner rather than later. So thank you, guys. That was beautiful. Let's bring in the key codes from this. Hanurugunga nemu na 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 dite ke tuka sakariata totoka no ruk tande kandu ruk chetikite ante vai indo barra me sukantara sendo que te asareti que te tok uno howe anda nete hey anna hey ya hey anna hey ya hey anna hu na we atu hande va. Nura nanani kumaya levi andanga. Nuru mugunugata de titi to kanapokataki no kaya sokataya ne se itando e arakundo. Ranja kiti potakati rasakotoko ono wayata. Ferra shikiti sukanuru. Hune shikendaza de vierra. Handu goruno state vantu kayama. So let's just breathe that in and allow it to drip down through. Wow. So thank you to the Elven, to the wonderful realms of the Elven for being here and for assisting us with that message. Beautiful. All right, so we are all done. Took 2 parts to do it. I wish that there was a way to blend them into one video, but it's okay. How's everyone feeling out there? How's everyone doing? Thank you. Have a blast. Thank you. Oh, thank you, Twitty. Oh man, I'm feeling the jaw tightening too. So guys, yeah, resentment's gonna be coming up. It seems like. Drink lots of water, stretch, rest, play, have fun. Thank you guys for being a part of this process. There's gonna be a lot more Elven messages coming through. I am now working a lot more with the Elven realms, and the other day I did a reading and they were so happy, and so we're gonna be bringing forward a lot more Elven frequency through. It's an important part of me that I'm stepping into and loving with the magics. So we'll be bringing through. We also have a lot of really exciting creations that are coming forward. I'm excited to share them as they align, but we've got some things coming in, and I'm at peace with the pathways, the alignments, and patience. And so, guys, I just want to give you so much love, so much fun, so much magic. Have fun, play with your magic, embrace it fully, embrace the Elvens, and we'll see what comes through more of the Elven keys and the Elven gates, and the Dolmen frequencies and the Elohim Elven as it unravels more. It's expressing itself more to us, and so we're just excited. We're excited to play. We're excited to play. All right, so I love you guys. Much love and respect to everyone out there. Thank you for being a part of this journey, for being a part of the message. It's been quite a long time that it's taken to be able to get these keys forward, and I'm excited to see what wants to be expressed through the Elven keys and through the Elven gates and the Elven rings. All right. So guys, be sure to go support Rustling Around. Russell from Rustling Around. He's got some Dolmen Elven magic over on his YouTube channel. If you go to the Dolmen gates and hear him talk about the Elven frequencies, he was a big part of bringing these key codes forward for myself. And so always want to weave him into the co-creation. So thank you, Russell from Rustling Around, for being here and for sharing your humility and sharing your hope and sharing your silliness. We're tickling your cosmic monkey in the belly right now, and we're gonna go belly up for a little while and just go play in the forest and go play and have fun. So I love you guys. Dance, play, sing. Keep your heart open, ignite the love, and just have so much fun. All right, I'll see you guys soon. Ciao, ciao, ciao.